I've always believed that space exploration is crucial in our quest to cure everything that ails us here on Earth.
So I have to ask, how does that work? You know, exactly the Life Foundation thing. How does it, I don't know, how does it go about, say, testing pharmaceuticals?
Eddie, we're talking about the rocket here?
No, I'm not. I'm talking about the allegations. It says that you recruit the most vulnerable of us to volunteer for tests that more often than not end up killing people.
Eddie.
Stores that they never got to work out.
Thank you very much.
We're not finished.
Yes, you are, Mr. Brock.
Is that a threat?
Have a nice life.
We all have our own demons. You used to be one thing, now you're something else.
Are you gonna behave yourself?
No. I have no problem with you sticking around, but we will only hurt the bad people.
So many snacks, so little time.
Eddie, you look lousy.
I am a parasite.
I think the most exciting thing about this film is having the opportunity to take a truly beloved character from comic books.
I'm Eddie Brock. I'm a reporter.
And combine that with one of the most exciting actors in the world, Tom Hardy.
I have been taken.
It's about a man who's dealing with a shadow side.
I'm so sorry.
You have no idea how much you're scaring me right now.
We're incredibly lucky to have Tom play Eddie Brock.
We cannot just hurt people.
And Venom.
Eddie,
There's this Jekyll and Hyde duality.
the way I see it, we can do whatever we want.
It's edgy and gritty and dark.
Eyes, lungs, pancreas, so many snacks, so little time.
Which I think is just so much more interesting and complex than a typical superhero.
That power, it's not completely awful.
Hey everybody, it's Charlie. We got so much new footage to break down, and this is just the beginning. There is so much awesome news that dropped today. So the director was also talking about the Spider-Man of it all, like Tom Holland's Spider-Man involved with this. We got a whole bunch of new shots of the symbiote, so let's break it down. And there's a new round of that Spider-Man PS4 giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave a comment on the video. I'll name a new winner at the end of this. You get more shots of him freaking out in that test lab when he first finds out about the symbiote. He doesn't totally know what's going on before he goes home and then is accosted by all those Life Foundation people. The shots of him with Anne Wang saying that he's not planning on behaving himself. It looks kind of playful. It could be just about them getting back together, or it could be related to the interview that he does with Carlton Drake a little bit later. Because remember, in the prequel comic book, when it opens up, he says he used to be a reporter. They're just trying to give you a little bit of his dark side that he has before he gets the symbiote. He already has some dark tendencies that manifest in his regular human interactions with other people just day to day. You get a bunch more shots of him taking down that big group of soldiers, throwing them around. Another full body shot of the symbiote. Obviously, there's no spider symbol on there now, but you can see the veins in some of the up-close shots, so they're doing something a little bit closer to what they've done in the more recent comics, where yeah, he still kind of has the spider symbol, but the way they're manifesting that is a little more complex than the classic Venom spider symbol that was literally looked much more like a suit that he was wearing instead of just being veins all over his chest. You get a little more dialogue where he's making the bargain with the symbiote. Yeah, look, you can stick around, but we can't just be hurting people. Then you get a couple more shots of the symbiote protecting him on that bike. I love the look on his face here too, like he doesn't know what's going on, but you can see the tendril from the symbiote automatically reach up to his head and yank it down to get out of the way of that drone before it just chops it right off. You look in the background here too, there's that shot of those two women watching Eddie as he walks by, talking to himself. You just remember that the symbiote can talk to him and he hears it. They said they had a lot of fun with the way they did that relationship. So like that's why they have the other shots of the symbiote head pulling out from his neck and talking to him like it were another person. You get a better look at how the symbiote manifests out of his face. So the giant white Venom eyes manifest out of his eyes. It'll be interesting to see what that looks like in practice. But probably even better, you get more shots of the Riot symbiote, and you can kind of tell that they've been tuning the CG ever since we got that last trailer. Now this is how big it is compared to the Venom symbiote. So Venom is already really, really big, but the Riot symbiote dwarfs even that. So the cool thing that they've done, at least since the last trailer came out, is that they've added those red veins to the Riot symbiote, because if you saw that last trailer, you can see them fighting each other, and it's kind of hard to pick them out. Because obviously Venom is black with the white veins, but they're trying to make Riot a lighter shade of gray, almost silverish, and it just doesn't pop quite as much on screen as you would expect, especially when they're fighting each other at night. So I think that's why they added the red veins, to sort of parallel the veins that run all over Venom, just to give it a little more pop on screen. Then for people that don't read the comics, they just want to reinforce the idea that it's the evil symbiote. But you do see them give it a lot of qualities that the Carnage symbiote has. It forms those really long claw-like fingernails that almost look like blades, that it literally forms a blade. Now, any Venom symbiote can do this, but it's just a hallmark of what the Carnage symbiote used to do. So I think that this is all just prepping you for concepts that they'll deal with in the next movie. They just want you to be familiar with the things that the symbiotes are capable of forming. I've already done a separate video about that. There was a Thor video with a bunch of Easter eggs from the comics where you actually see it form wings. This actually kind of seems like it's Carlton Drake when he gets the Riot symbiote just destroying all of his people. Because like you see everybody running down this hallway in the other part of the trailer. The prequel comic that I did a video for a little while ago explains a little bit about how the Riot symbiote is functionally different from the Venom symbiote. It behaves more like a parasite, just taking over a human host and using it as a glorified finger puppet. So even though this is Riz Ahmed's character in here, he thinks the symbiotes are the key to the next step in human evolution, but really it's the symbiotes just using them as finger puppets, with the exception to the Venom symbiote that actually does want to have a relationship with its host. So this just might be Riz Ahmed not being able to stop Riot when he's possessing him from killing all these people. Another shot of him biting that dude's heads off in the convenience store. Oh, you look terrible, Eddie. I got a parasite. So just a longer version of that scene that we keep seeing. This shot of the explosion from the motorcycle chase is also important too, because during the prequel comic book, the Venom symbiote is telling Eddie, fire is not our friend. It's one of the few things that the symbiote is afraid of. So because that happens earlier in the movie, it seems like it's a bit of a hat tip for how they take down the other symbiotes. Fire is dangerous for us, so that means that it's also dangerous for the other symbiotes. So in related Spider-Man news, the director was just talking about how he feels like Venom doesn't need Tom Holland's Spider-Man to be a really good franchise. So unless he's just trying to throw us off the scent, that just makes it sound like there's no Tom Holland in the Venom movie, just a lot of Spider-Man references and Easter eggs. Like that line of dialogue where he goes, lungs, pancreas, so many snacks, so little time. That's a line of dialogue from the very first appearance of Venom when he had fully become the Eddie Brock version of the character in a Spider-Man comic. So I'm just expecting a lot of that and a lot of Eddie referencing where he came from in New York. But what's going to happen is I'm working on a new Avengers video, but while I was working on this, Marvel just announced a director for its Eternals movie, and they have some writers, so they're basically fast-tracking that, and there's a bunch of X-Men related MCU news. So I'll be doing a video for that title teaser that the Russos dropped. I'll add all that stuff that should be up in the next couple of hours. Congratulations, Jacqueline Hardrick. Please email me on the About page of my channel. You're the giveaway winner from my last big video. I'll do a new round when I post that Avengers video later today. Click here for brand new Captain Marvel footage, and click here for that brand new Daredevil Season 3 trailer. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.